paint what we see, several considerations about how we see and interpret an image are to be considered. Seeing begins with the first automatic awareness of the presence of a visual image. The meaning of what we see refers only to this sensory image that is automatically presented to the mind by the eyes at a specific time. The term "what we see" does not refer to any other mental reaction of the mind, such as thoughts of concepts of objects or outlines. This requires learning a new and regimented discipline through practice and exacting thought. The painting of what we see requires an artist to adjust his thinking of the way he sees and interprets an image. When an artist recreates an image, he is concerned with three ways of recreating an image: from memory, conceptual art; from memory and observation, conceptual and perceptual art; and pure seeing, perceptual art. In this presentation, we are concerned with perceptual art, seeing. Most artists try to paint what they see. Our eyes convey to the mind various patterns of images which we recognize. The interpretation of these images is recreated by the artist. The usual way to recreate an image is to begin by making a sketch of an image they wish to create. This drawing does not adequately represent the visual image observed and does not include lights, darks, colors, and tones. When you receive a visual sensation from a subject, an optical image, you receive something of the arrangements of lights and darks and shapes and colors. What we actually see are a series of blurred patterns of light and dark masses. By squinting your eyes, a blurred image appears. The lights, darks, and predominant shapes and colors are identified. No lines or outlines are evident. This process now requires us to use our eye to convey to the mind the detailed character of a particular image, whose visual impression we try to recreate. It is therefore necessary that our observations concentrate not on objects but on individual shapes, tones, colors, and that make up the pattern of the image. Only through practice will the painter be able to separate the conflict between these two ways of seeing, one of identifying the subject's shapes, tones, and colors of the objects observed, and one identified objects only. Only then can we claim to paint what we see. In tonal analysis, certain tones, values, and shapes make up the visual image, the set of patches. The contrast between these tones, colors, and shapes produce the form of the objects. We are concerned only with exploration of tonal relationships in which every mark, every shape, tone, color, and lost edge or accent make up a record of a vividly conscious and orderly analysis of a particular experience of seeing what the eyes perceive. The framework of the painting in this approach is not on the line work separating its parts, but in the pattern of the greatest contrast of tone, color, and shape, the pattern of tonal masses. Beginning with the Premier Coup approach, the first question to address is what are the 4 or 5 major tonal masses of the image and their approximate placement. There are several large masses that make up the pattern of the image, some light, some dark. They appear to be approximately in these positions. The patch that represents the statue's head has a certain light and dark values, tones, and shapes. The background has two tones, one light, one dark. There are certain light patches on a dark background. The tonal painter concentrates his mental focus on these blurred tones or accents, optical sensations of colors, shapes, and gradations in particular visual image by analyzing them without consideration to linear reference. Each time you refer to the image, note what change in your recreation will dramatically resemble the image. Is it a shape, loose edge, or sharp edge? A highlight, a tone, a color, value? Each application to your canvas must express an additional perception of a little more of the character of the particular image being studied, a little more than you had perceived of the last one applied. It is necessary to observe the whole image being studied with every application and relate each statement made on the canvas to the whole image you are creating. Continue in this manner until you reach a point where the painting needs clarification. Questions should be addressed as to whether the edges should be defined with a sharp separation or a soft separation. Are the colors of sufficient value? Are the darks too strong or not strong enough? Do shapes need clarification? Do the strong highlights need to be more evident? These applications are not drawings, they are tonal gradations applied with a brush. Each observation and application should be applied immediately to avoid trying to make a decision that maybe it should be something else to clarify. Your constant consideration should be premier coup. When you are satisfied that the creation resembles the image, stop.